Some people get roses for their anniversary. I got the director's cut of my wife's greatest hits. My name is Owen Lasker, and I'm 43 years old. I supervise logistics at a mid-size warehouse in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Nothing glamorous about it. We move boxes, track shipments, and deal with truckers who think shower gel is optional. But it pays the bills and keeps my wife Dana in her designer coffee and yoga classes. Or so I thought. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. It was a Thursday night in October, rain tapping against our home office window like impatient fingers. Maya, our 17-year-old daughter, was in her room live streaming some video game to 12 followers who probably didn't care. Dana was working late again, or so she claimed. Third time this week. I was organizing our digital photos for our 20th wedding anniversary next month. 20 years of marriage deserved something special, I figured. Maybe a slideshow, maybe a scrapbook. Something to show we'd built a life together. The computer hummed as I sorted through folders of family vacations, birthday parties, and random snapshots. That's when I found the flash drive wedged behind the monitor. Black, unmarked, with a white label in Dana's neat handwriting. Our best moments. My heart did that stupid flutter thing it does when you think you've found a surprise gift. Maybe Dana had been planning her own anniversary surprise. Maybe she'd collected our best photos and videos over the years. I plugged it in. The first file was a video dated 3 months ago. The thumbnail showed what looked like an office party, dim lighting, people laughing in the background. I clicked play, expecting to see Dana with her coworkers from Sterling Events Management. Instead, I watched my wife of 20 years grinding against Rick Munroe in a supply closet. Rick, her married subordinate, the guy who'd been to our house for barbecues, the guy whose wife Camille made amazing potato salad and always asked about Maya's college plans. My hands went numb. The mouse slipped from my grip. But the video kept playing. Dana's voice, breathless and excited. God, Rick, what if someone catches us? His response, let them. Your husband's probably watching TV in his underwear anyway. They both laughed. I sat there for maybe 10 minutes, staring at the frozen screen. The rain kept tapping. Maya's game kept beeping through the walls. The house felt exactly the same, but everything had changed. There were 12 more files. I watched them all. Dana and Rick in his car after the company picnic. Dana and Rick in what looked like a hotel room, and then, starting 2 months ago, Dana with someone else entirely. Alex Grant, her boss. The guy who'd promoted her last year. The guy she'd gushed about over dinner, calling him brilliant and visionary. In the videos, she called him other things entirely. The last file was just audio, recorded on Dana's phone. Her voice and Alex's, discussing me like I was a piece of furniture they needed to move. Owen's getting suspicious, Dana said. He asked why I've been working so many weekends. So tell him you're working toward another promotion, Alex replied. Men like him eat that corporate ladder bullshit up. He'll probably be proud of his ambitious little wife. God, you're right. He's so predictable. 20 years of the same routine, work, dinner, TV, bed. I swear sometimes I forget he's even there. Well, you won't have to put up with it much longer. Once this merger goes through and I get the regional position, we can make this official. You can divorce the warehouse guy and upgrade to management. They laughed again. That same laugh from the supply closet video. I ejected the flash drive and held it up to the light. Such a small thing to contain the demolition of 2 decades. My phone buzzed. Text from Dana. Working late again? Don't wait up. Love you. Love you. I almost threw the phone across the room. Instead, I set it down very carefully and walked to the kitchen. Opened a beer. Drank it in 3 long swallows. Opened another. 20 years. I'd given this woman 20 years of my life. I'd worked double shifts to pay for her business degree. I'd supported her career changes, her ambitions, her dreams. I'd been faithful, reliable, boring Owen while she was out collecting best moments. With half her office. The smart thing would have been to confront her. Maybe couples therapy, maybe a civilized divorce. But sitting there in my kitchen, listening to the rain and my daughter's video games and the sound of my marriage fading, I realized I didn't want to be smart. I wanted to be thorough. I went back to the computer and created new folders, copied every file from the flash drive, checked the timestamps, the metadata, the locations, started a spreadsheet. Because that's what boring warehouse guys do. We organize things. Then I opened my laptop and started researching. Sterling Events Management had a board of directors. They had an HR department, they had a company handbook with very specific policies about workplace relationships and harassment. They also had a website with a Contact Us form and a corporate email directory. By midnight, I had a plan. By 1 a.m., I had drafted emails to 17 different people: board members, HR directors, department heads. Each email was professional, concerned, and included relevant video attachments with timestamps and location data. I scheduled them all to send at 8 a.m. sharp. Then I did something that surprised even me. I created an anonymous account on a local community forum and uploaded edited versions of the videos. Faces blurred, but voices clear. I titled the post, "Sterling Events Management. Is this what you call team building?" I set that to go live at 8:15 a.m. Finally, I pulled up Camille Munroe's contact info from Maya's graduation party photos. Sweet Camille, who'd spent 3 hours helping Dana set up decorations, who'd hugged me and said what a lucky woman Dana was to have such a devoted husband. I typed a simple text. "Camille, this is Owen Lasker. You need to see this. I'm sorry." Attach the relevant Rick videos, scheduled for 8:30 a.m. I closed the laptop and finished my beer. Upstairs, I could hear Dana's car pulling into the driveway, her key in the lock, her heels clicking across the hardwood floor. "Owen?" she called softly. "You still up?" I turned off the office light and slipped upstairs. By the time she reached our bedroom, I was under the covers, eyes closed, breathing steady. She moved quietly through her nighttime routine: shower, skincare, that expensive silk pajama set I'd bought her for Christmas. The bed dipped as she slid in beside me. "Love you, honey," she whispered, kissing my shoulder. I didn't respond, couldn't trust my voice. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand, then again, then a rapid series of notifications that made her sit up. "What the hell?" she muttered. I kept my breathing even, my body still. But inside, I was smiling. 8 a.m. was going to be very interesting. I've always been an early riser, but that Friday morning I was up at 5:30, coffee in hand, watching the sunrise paint our suburban street gold. Dana was still asleep, her phone silent on the nightstand. The calm before the storm. At exactly 8 a.m., I refreshed my email. 17 messages sat in my sent folder, each one marked as delivered. I pictured them landing in inboxes across Sterling Events Management like depth charges. Maya stumbled into the kitchen at 8:15, backpack slung over her shoulder, earbuds already in place. "Dad, can you drive me to school? Mom's car is blocking me in." "Sure, kiddo." I grabbed my keys, trying to keep my voice normal. "Your mom had an early meeting." It wasn't technically a lie. She was about to have several. I dropped Maya at Grand Rapids High and drove to my warehouse across town. Northside Logistics wasn't glamorous, but it was honest work with honest people. My crew, mostly guys who'd been laid off from the auto plants, showed up on time, did their jobs, and didn't stab each other in the back, unlike some places I could mention. My phone started buzzing at 8:45. Dana's number. I let it go to voicemail. Then again at 8:50. Another voicemail. By 9 a.m., she'd called 6 times. I finally answered on the 7th. "Owen!" Her voice was shrill, panicked. "Owen, something terrible has happened. Someone hacked my computer. They have videos." "Slow down," I said, settling into my desk chair. Through my office window, I could see my crew loading a truck bound for Detroit. Normal people doing normal work. "What kind of videos?" "I can't." "God, Owen, they sent them to everyone. The board, HR, my whole department. They're saying I was having affairs, but it's not. It was just... Affairs?" I kept my voice carefully neutral. "Plural?" She was crying now. "It's complicated. I was going to tell you, I was going to explain everything. But someone stole private videos and now they're everywhere. The whole company has seen them." "Who did you have affairs with, Dana?" The question hung in the air like smoke. "Rick," she whispered. "And Alex. But Owen, you have to understand." "I have to understand." Something cold and sharp was rising in my chest. "I have to understand why my wife of 20 years was screwing her coworkers." "Don't say it like that. It wasn't like that." "What was it like?" "I don't know. I was confused. I felt trapped, like my life was just slipping away. Rick paid attention to me, made me feel young again. And Alex, he saw potential in me that you never..." She stopped herself, but too late. "That I never what, Dana?" "Nothing. I didn't mean..." "That I never what?" "That you never saw," she exploded. "You never saw me as anything but boring suburban wife material. Rick and Alex, they saw me as a woman, as someone with ambitions and dreams and a husband who worked double shifts to pay for your business degree so you could pursue those dreams." Silence. "Owen, please. I know I screwed up, but someone is trying to destroy my life. They posted the videos online, they sent them to clients, they even sent them to..." Her voice broke. "They sent them to Camille." "Rick's wife saw them?" She's been calling me all morning, screaming. She says she's going to eliminate me. Owen, I'm scared. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Where are you now? In my car outside the office. Security won't let me in. Alex won't take my calls. They're saying I might be fired. Might be. Owen, I need you to come get me. I can't drive like this. I'm shaking too badly. Please, I know you're angry, but I'm your wife. I need you. Your wife. Like that meant something now. I'll be there in 20 minutes, I said, and hung up. But I didn't drive to Sterling Events Management. Instead, I called my friend Vic Patel, who ran IT for a medical supply company across town. Owen, what's up, man? I need a favor, Vic. A big one. Shoot. I need you to help me destroy some people. There was a pause. This about Dana? Vic was sharp. He'd probably figured out my marriage was in trouble before I did. Yeah. What do you need? I explained about the videos, the affairs, the humiliation. Vic listened without interrupting, occasionally making small sounds of disgust. Jesus, Owen, I'm sorry, man. What can I do? I need background checks, financial records, social media, anything public. Rick Munroe and Alex Grant. I want to know everything about these guys. Give me 2 hours. I hung up and drove to Sterling Events Management. The building was a gleaming glass tower downtown, all sharp angles and corporate ambition. Dana's car was parked across the street, her silhouette hunched over the steering wheel. I pulled up behind her and got out. She practically fell into my arms, sobbing against my work shirt. Thank God you're here. Owen, I'm so sorry. I know I hurt you, but we can fix this. We can go to counseling, we can... Dana. I held her at arm's length. Look at me. Her makeup was destroyed, her hair a mess. She looked older than her 40 years. Did you love them? What? Rick and Alex. Did you love them, or were you just bored? She opened her mouth, closed it. I don't know. I thought I did. Maybe. Does it matter? Yeah, I said quietly. It does. A security guard emerged from the building and walked toward us. Young guy, probably college-aged, looking uncomfortable. Ma'am, Mr. Grant asked me to give you this. He handed Dana an envelope and hurried back inside. She tore it open with shaking hands. Inside was a single sheet of company letterhead. Effective immediately, Dana Lasker is suspended pending investigation into violations of company policy regarding workplace conduct and professional ethics, she read aloud. What the hell does that mean? It means Alex is covering his ass, I said, throwing you under the bus so he can keep his job. He wouldn't do that. He loves me. I almost laughed. Dana, he's married. He's got a corner office and a 6-figure salary. You think he's going to risk that for someone he was screwing in supply closets? Her face crumpled. You don't understand. What we had was special. Special enough that he won't take your calls now that you're radioactive? She stared at the letter, reality finally sinking in. What am I going to do? If they fire me, I'll never get another job in event management. Not after this. You should have thought of that before you decided to film your extracurricular activities. I didn't know they were being filmed. Rick said it was just for us, something private and fun. Rick filmed you? At first. Then Alex started doing it too. They said it was attractive, that it would be our secret. Our secret. Right. My phone buzzed. Text from Vic. Got some interesting stuff on your boys. Meet me at Murphy's bar at 6? I looked at Dana, still clutching her suspension letter, still waiting for me to fix everything. Get in your car, I said. Drive home. Don't talk to any reporters. Don't post anything on social media. Don't call Rick or Alex. What are you going to do? I'm going to handle this. Handle it how? I walked back to my truck without answering. Murphy's bar was exactly the kind of place you'd expect to find in a fading Rust Belt city, dim lighting, sticky floors, and a clientele that minded its own business. Vic was already there when I arrived, nursing a beer and scrolling through his laptop. Owen. He stood and clapped me on the shoulder. You look like hell. Feel worse. I signaled the bartender for a whiskey. What did you find? Vic opened his laptop and angled it toward me. Your wife has excellent taste in scumbags. The screen showed Rick Munroe's Facebook profile, all happy family photos and motivational quotes about success. But Vic had dug deeper. Rick's got gambling debts, Vic said. Big ones. He owes about $30,000 to some very unfriendly people in Detroit. His wife doesn't know. He's been hiding it by taking cash advances on credit cards. How do you know all this? Public records mostly. Bankruptcy filings, court documents. The guy's been juggling debt for 2 years. Vic scrolled to another window. Alex Grant is even more interesting. Squeaky clean on the surface, but he's been skimming from company accounts. Skimming? Small amounts spread across multiple projects. A few hundred here, a few thousand there. Adds up to about 60 grand over the past year. I stared at the financial records. How did you get these? Let's just say Sterling Events Management needs better cybersecurity. Vic grinned. The best part? Some of these transactions were authorized by Dana. Her digital signature is all over the paperwork. The pieces clicked into place. She was helping him. Looks like it. Whether she knew what she was signing or not, she's legally liable. I drained my whiskey and ordered another. So Rick's desperate for money, Alex is embezzling, and Dana's the perfect patsy. That's my read. These guys weren't just screwing your wife, Owen. They were using her. My phone rang. Dana's number again. Owen, thank God. You need to come home right now. Rick is here and he's acting crazy. What do you mean, crazy? He's in our driveway, screaming about how this is all my fault. He says Camille kicked him out and filed for divorce. He wants me to fix it somehow. I could hear shouting in the background, Rick's voice loud and slurred. Lock the doors, I said. I'm on my way. I left money on the bar and headed for my truck. Vic followed. I'm coming with you, he said. You don't need to... Owen, these guys have nothing left to lose. That makes them dangerous. He was right. I'd seen desperate men before, guys who'd lost their jobs, their homes, their families. They didn't think straight. We pulled into my subdivision just as Rick was pounding on my front door. He was drunk, his shirt untucked, his hair wild. Dana's car wasn't in the driveway. She'd probably parked in the garage and locked herself inside the house. I got out of my truck slowly, hands visible. Rick. He spun around, nearly losing his balance. Owen. Jesus, man, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about everything. You should go home, Rick. I can't go home. He was crying now, mascara-streaked tears. Camille changed the locks. She took the kids to her sister's. She's talking to lawyers. Can you blame her? It wasn't supposed to happen like this. The videos, they were just for fun. Private fun. Someone stole them. Someone wanted to hurt us. I walked closer, Vic staying by the truck. Who do you think stole them? I don't know. Maybe someone at the office, someone jealous of Dana's success. Or maybe Camille hired a private investigator. She's been suspicious for months. Suspicious of what? The late nights, the business trips, the new clothes. Dana said we were being careful, but Camille's not stupid, Dana said, like she was the mastermind. Rick, I need you to listen to me very carefully. You're drunk, you're on my property, and you're scaring my family. You need to leave. I just need to talk to Dana. She has to help me explain to Camille that it didn't mean anything. It was just stress relief, you know? Marriage gets stale after 15 years. Something snapped inside me. Stress relief? I stepped closer. You think screwing my wife was stress relief? Owen, I didn't mean... You came to my house. You ate my food. You played with my daughter in the pool. And the whole time you were planning to sleep with my wife. It wasn't like that. What was it like, Rick? He backed toward his car, a silver BMW that was probably financed beyond his means. Look, I know you're angry, but Dana wanted it too. She came on to me first, actually. At the Christmas party, she said she was lonely, that you didn't appreciate her. So you decided to help her with that problem. We were both unhappy. You and Camille, you guys just don't understand what it's like to feel invisible in your own marriage. I looked at Rick's BMW. Shiny, expensive, compensating for something. Nice car, I said. Thanks, I picked up a piece of decorative gravel from Dana's flower bed and threw it at his windshield. It starred the glass with a satisfying crack. What the hell? I threw another one. This time it hit his hood, leaving a small dent. Owen, stop. That's Elise. Stress relief, I said, throwing a third rock. It bounced off his passenger door. You know what, Rick? You're right. This is very therapeutic. He fumbled for his keys, panic sobering him up fast. I'm calling the cops. Go ahead. Tell them you were trespassing on my property, drunk, harassing my family. He got his car started and backed out of my driveway, the cracked windshield catching streetlight like a spider web. As his taillights disappeared around the corner, I felt something I hadn't experienced in 20 years of marriage. Pure, clean satisfaction. Vic walked up beside me. Feel better? Getting there. My front door opened. Dana appeared, still in her work clothes from this morning, looking small and frightened. Owen? What happened? I heard shouting. Rick won't be bothering you anymore. She stepped outside, looking at the scattered gravel. Did you throw rocks at his car? Seemed like the thing to do. God, Owen, what if he calls the police? What if he sues us? Let him try. I walked past her into the house. We need to talk. Dana followed me into our living room, wrapping her arms around herself like she was cold. Vic stayed outside, giving us privacy but keeping watch. Owen, I know you're angry. Sit down. She perched on the edge of our couch, the same couch where we'd watched movies and helped Maya with homework and pretended to be a happy family. I found the flash drive, Dana. Her face went white. What flash drive? The one labeled Our Best Moments, hidden behind the computer monitor. She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. Owen, I can explain. You recorded yourself having connection with 2 different men, in your office, in hotel rooms, in Rick's car. Then you saved the videos and hid them in our home office. It wasn't like that. Rick started recording us, said it was exciting. Then Alex wanted to try it too. I never meant for anyone else to see them. But you kept them. I don't know why. Maybe because it made me feel alive again, like I was more than just someone's wife and mother. You were more than that to me. She laughed bitterly. Was I? When's the last time you really looked at me, Owen? Really saw me? I'm 40 years old, I work in a hopeless job, and I come home to a husband who grunts hello and falls asleep watching TV. So you decided to sleep with your coworkers. Don't be crude. What would you call it? She was crying again, but I felt nothing. No sympathy, no urge to comfort her. I felt invisible, she whispered, like I was disappearing a little more every day. Rick made me feel beautiful, Alex made me feel important. And now? Now I've lost everything. My job, my reputation, my friends. Camille posted screenshots of the videos on Facebook before they took them down. Everyone we know has seen them. Not everyone, she looked up. What do you mean? Maya doesn't know yet, but she will once her friends start talking. Dana's face crumpled. Oh God, Maya, what am I going to tell her? The truth, that her mother is a cheating whore who destroyed her family for a few minutes of excitement. She slapped me, hard enough to leave a handprint on my cheek. I didn't react, just stared at her until she dropped her hand. Feel better? I asked. How can you be so calm? How can you just sit there like this doesn't affect you? Because I'm not done yet. Something in my voice made her step back. What do you mean? I pulled out my phone and showed her the financial records Vic had found. Alex has been embezzling from Sterling Events Management, and you've been helping him. That's not true. I never... Your digital signature is on $60,000 worth of fraudulent transactions. She scrolled through the documents, her face getting paler. I didn't know what I was signing. Alex said they were routine project approvals. Try explaining that to the FBI. The FBI? Corporate embezzlement is a federal crime, Dana, especially when it crosses state lines, which these transactions do. But I didn't know. Doesn't matter. You're legally liable. She sank onto the couch, the phone falling from her hands. What do you want from me, Owen? I want you to understand what you've done, not just to me, but to Maya, to our families, to everyone who trusted you. I understand. I made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. This was a choice, multiple choices over months. She was sobbing now, great heaving sobs that shook her whole body. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll do anything to fix this. You can't fix it? We can go to counseling. I'll quit working, stay home, be a better wife. I don't want a better wife. I want a different wife. The words hung between us like a blade. You're divorcing me. I filed papers this afternoon. Her head snapped up. What? I also moved our money into separate accounts. The house goes on the market Monday. You can't do that. This is my home, too. Actually, I can. The house is in my name. I bought it before we got married. But I've lived here for 20 years. I have rights. You had rights. You forfeited them when you decided to film yourself sleeping with other men. She stood up, anger replacing despair. You bastard. You planned this whole thing, didn't you? I planned to protect myself and my daughter from the fallout of your choices. What about me? What am I supposed to do? I don't care. The front door opened. Maya walked in, earbuds around her neck, backpack slung over her shoulder. She stopped when she saw us. Why is everyone crying? And why is Mr. Patel sitting in his car outside? Dana and I looked at each other. Sit down, kiddo, I said. We need to talk. 3 weeks later, I was living in a furnished apartment across town. Maya was staying with my sister in Detroit, and Dana was camping out in a motel near the highway. The house had sold faster than expected. Apparently, the real estate market was hot for people who weren't embroiled in scandals. Sterling Events Management had fired Dana and launched an investigation into Alex's financial irregularities. Rick had been demoted to part-time and was facing his own divorce proceedings. The local news had picked up the story, running it as a cautionary tale about workplace ethics. I should have felt satisfied. Justice served, revenge complete. Instead, I felt empty. I was thinking about this on a Saturday morning, drinking coffee in my sterile apartment, when my phone rang. Unknown number. Owen Lasker? Speaking. This is Detective Sarah Martinez, Grand Rapids Police. I need to speak with you about your wife. My stomach dropped. What about her? She's been arrested. For what? Breaking and entering. She was found in your old house last night. The new owners called it in. I closed my eyes. Is she okay? Physically, yes. Mentally? Well, that's debatable. She was found in your daughter's bedroom, going through old photo albums. She'd been drinking. I'll be right there. The police station was downtown, a brutalist concrete building that looked like it had been designed to crush hope. Detective Martinez was a middle-aged Latina woman with kind eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. Your wife is in holding, she said. She's asking for you. What exactly happened? The new owners heard noise around midnight, found her in the teenager's bedroom, crying over photo albums. She'd broken in through the back door. She still had a key. Not anymore. You changed the locks, remember? She broke the door frame. Right. I'd forgotten about that. She keeps saying she just wanted to remember when things were good, Detective Martinez continued. The new owners are pressing charges, but given the circumstances, we might be able to work something out. What kind of circumstances? Mr. Lasker, your wife is having a breakdown. When we brought her in, she was talking about how she'd ruined everything, how she deserved to fade. We had to put her on suicide watch. The bottom dropped out of my world. Can I see her? Dana was in a holding cell, still wearing the same clothes she'd had on when I last saw her 3 weeks ago. She looked like she'd lost 20 pounds, her face gaunt and hollow. Owen. She stood up when she saw me. You came. The detective said you were talking about hurting yourself. She laughed, but there was no humor in it. Would you care if I did? Of course I'd care. You're Maya's mother. That's the only reason? I looked at her, really looked at her. This broken woman who'd shared my bed for 20 years, who'd given birth to my daughter, who'd thrown it all away for something she thought was missing from her life. No, I said quietly. That's not the only reason. She started crying again. I've lost everything, Owen. My job, my home, my family. I'm living in a motel, eating gas station food, and I can't even afford a lawyer for the divorce. What about Alex? Rick? Alex won't return my calls. His wife found out about the embezzlement, and he's trying to pin it all on me. Rick blames me for his divorce. Says I seduced him. Did you? I don't know anymore. I don't remember who started what. Everything's all mixed up in my head. She sat back down on the narrow cot. I keep thinking about Maya's graduation party, she said. Remember how proud we were? How perfect everything seemed. I remembered. Maya in her cap and gown, beaming as we took pictures. Dana had made her favorite cake from scratch. I'd grilled burgers for 30 people. It had been a good day. That was only 4 months ago, Dana continued. 4 months ago we were happy, or at least I thought we were. Were you? I thought I was miserable. I thought my life was boring and predictable and wasted. She looked up at me. Now I'd give anything to have that life back. You can't. I know. We sat in silence for a while, the weight of 20 years pressing down on us. Owen? Yeah. I need help, professional help. I think I've been depressed for a long time, and I made terrible choices because of it. That's not an excuse. I'm not making excuses. I'm trying to explain. Another silence. The detective says the new owners might drop the charges if I get counseling and stay away from the house. That's generous of them. Will you help me find a therapist? I don't know how any of this works. I looked at her sitting there, broken and lost, and felt something I hadn't experienced in weeks. Pity. Yeah, I said. I'll help you find someone. Thank you. But Dana. Yeah? This doesn't change anything between us. I'm still divorcing you. I'm still done with our marriage. She nodded. I know. And if you ever hurt Maya with this mess, if you drag her into your drama or make her choose sides, I'll make sure you never see her again. I understand. I stood to leave. Owen? I turned back. For what it's worth, I did love you. I loved you for 20 years. I just forgot how to show it. I looked at her one last time, this woman who'd been my wife, my partner, my best friend, and finally my greatest disappointment. I loved you too, I said. That's why this hurts so much. I walked out of the police station and into the bright October morning. My phone buzzed with a text from Maya. Dad, when can I come home? Home. I looked around at the city where I'd lived my entire adult life, where I'd built a career and a family and a future that no longer existed. Maybe it was time for a fresh start. For both of us. I texted back, soon, kiddo, real soon. 6 months later, Maya and I were living in Portland, Oregon. I'd gotten a job with a shipping company, she'd enrolled at Portland State, and we were both seeing therapists to work through the wreckage of our family. Dana had completed a residential treatment program and was working at a coffee shop in Grand Rapids, living in a studio apartment and attending AA meetings. We'd finalized the divorce quietly, splitting our remaining assets and agreeing on visitation terms that Maya could decide for herself when she was ready. Alex Grant had been fired and was facing federal charges. Rick Munroe had declared bankruptcy and moved back in with his parents. Camille had gotten the house and full custody of their kids. Justice, I supposed. Or at least consequences. I was thinking about all of this on a rainy Thursday evening, sitting in my new apartment overlooking the Willamette River, when Maya came home from her evening classes. Dad? Yeah? Mom called me today. I set down my book. How did that go? She sounded different. Clearer, I guess. She wanted to apologize for everything and to tell me she's proud of me for starting college. How do you feel about that? Maya sat down across from me, looking older than her 18 years. I'm still angry at her, but I miss her too. Does that make sense? Perfect sense. She asked if she could visit sometime. Not to see you, she added quickly. Just to see me. What did you tell her? That I'd think about it. I nodded. That's fair. Are you okay with that? If she visits? I looked at my daughter. Smart, resilient, kind, despite everything she'd been through. Maya, your relationship with your mother is separate from mine. I won't stand in the way of that. Even after everything she did? Even after everything she did. Maya smiled for the first time in months. Thanks, Dad. You're welcome. She headed to her room, then turned back. Dad? Yeah? I'm glad we moved here. I like our new life. Me too, kiddo. After she went to bed, I stood at my window looking out at the city lights reflecting on the water. Somewhere behind me, 3,000 miles away, Dana was probably closing the coffee shop where she worked, heading home to her small apartment, living with the consequences of her choices. I didn't forgive her, might never forgive her completely, but I didn't hate her anymore either. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying someone. Sometimes it's building something better without them. I closed the curtains and went to bed, ready for whatever came next.